Hi, welcome to Tunescape. This video is going to be about object manipulation and placement. For this, I'm going to go ahead and start a new Tunescape. So I'm going to open my menu with the menu button. Over here on the left, you can find New. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now, I have the option for what kind of skybox I want. This is the sky that's going to be around your Tunescape. So pick one accordingly. They're in alphabetical order. Let's see, we'll go ahead and grab this guy here. If I ever need to change the skybox, I can always go and select it here with my cursor. Alright, so first things first, the floating cube that you see following my view is the selection cube. You can think of that like a cursor. It's semi-transparent, so in certain lighting it can start to get a little hard to see. Just turn your view a little bit and you'll be able to see it just fine. To move around, I can use my left stick to move side to side or forward and back. Keep in mind this will follow the direction that you look. So right now I'm just holding forward but looking back and forth, and that will move me according to the direction that I'm looking. The right stick, however, can be used to move up and down, and I can rotate around this way. You can always look down and find this menu bar to center yourself again. So if you're in the middle of working on something and you get turned off to the side, just remember you can always look down and find the bar. The bar will always be facing forward, okay? So now, if I want to create an object, all I have to do is select nothing in space here, so I can just press the A button. Now I've got a couple of categories of objects. I can do static objects that just sit still, lights, or glowing objects. These ones have the ability to emit light. And finally, seats. You have the option of a magic carpet or recliner currently, or the sofa. I plan on adding some more options to that later, but keep in mind that a seat is where you will load into a Tunescape. Let's pick a static object. So I've got my column here. If I select it by putting the cube around it, or just so long as it's intersecting in any way, click A, and that brings up a list of the objects that are intersecting at the moment. Or I can create a new object. I want to select the bar and click that with A. And now I have options. I can delete the object, I can copy the object, I can move the object, or I can set its properties. So I'm going to hit Y to go to properties. That brings up this particular object's properties. First of all, it's got color, so I can change the color of it by changing these sliders. Give it a blue hue here. And every object has a default keyframe at 0. This is for animation. If you want to learn more about the animation, there will be a later video in this series. To close this window, I can just hit B on my controller. That's on the far right. Let's talk about rotation and scaling. I'm going to choose the bar here, clicking on it with A, and then choosing it from the list, again with A. I'm going to choose Move. So, you see these prompts here. L3 is your left stick. If you click it in, that's L3. If I click it in and then use the right stick, I can rotate my object. And this is in relation to the direction you're looking. So if I look off to the side, then it will continue to rotate according to the way that I'm looking. But that can be used in various ways to help get yourself lined up. Same thing for scaling, essentially. If I hold down the left stick, then I can use the left bumper to make it smaller and the right bumper to make it bigger. If I want to reset the rotation of my object after I've been moving it around, I can hold the left stick in and click the right stick, and that will reorient the object. You also see the left trigger prompt here. That is for creating or adding to a group. I'll go over groups more in a later video. One last thing on moving the object while you're holding it. If you want to move it closer to yourself, that's the left bumper. If you want to move it further away from yourself, that's the right bumper. And to change that speed, I can open the settings, hit the settings button, and this is the cursor distance speed. If I were to crank that all the way up, close this again, either with B or the settings button. Now, if I hold down the right bumper, it moves away from me at a fast speed. I'm going to bring that back down. It may not seem that useful to go this far out with an object, but when you start working with really large objects, sometimes it's helpful to be able to work from a greater distance away from it. All right, bring that back in with the left bumper. I can stamp an object with X, or I can place it with A. If I'm holding an object, then I can hit B to simply delete it. Okay, let's make a second object. I'm just going to click out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm going to cycle through the categories. I'm going to take a glowing object. I'm going to hold down the right trigger here to cycle through my objects. And I'm going to look for the rounded objects here. All right, glowing sphere. So I'm going to hit A to select that. And I'm going to scale it up a little bit. Place it on there. And I'm going to change the color of this guy. So, glowing objects also have an intensity that can be set. For this one, I'm going to make it, let's make it yellow. And if I turn the intensity down, you get this more muted color. And as the intensity goes up, the ball brightens. All right, that'll work from there. I'm going to hit B to close that. Now, if I wanted to make these into a group, I can do that. That's going to be covered in another video. Please stay tuned for that. But that's been it for basic objects. Placing, scaling, rotating, and setting properties.